Hey, this is Matt once again with the Bets in a video. And this is a paid request for Rapid Turby 3K. Thank you for that. For those interested in requesting any type of movie review, re-review, a topic, a movie news, a reaction, a commentary, playing a video game for an hour or a full playthrough, whatever the case may be, PayPal is usually the best bet. You can also use PayPal or Patreon. I have links down below. CashApp as well. People have asked about that. All those links are down in the info box. I'll get to as soon as I can. For those who sent them, thank you. I really appreciate it. So Robert Turby 3K wanted me to do a list of the top 15 worst films I've seen of 1993. Now, when I look back at 1993, it's a good year for me. It's a good year for me. I'm 10 years old. I'm looking around. I see Cliffhanger, Demolition Man, Hard Target, Jurassic Park, Last Action Hero. A lot of films I enjoy. Now, there were films I didn't enjoy, and I'll be honest, a lot of times with bad movies, I'll either review them or rant on them, and then honestly, after a week or so, I will forget about them. I think it's my brain putting them in the recycle bin and wanting to delete it. So, it does not want too much junk. There's enough junk in this brain. It doesn't want too much garbage in there. So put in the recycle bin, get out of there, wipe it from existence. So I'm not sure if I'm going to remember a lot of details about these films, but I still feel how much I thought these films sucked. And I don't think all these are reviewed on the channel, but and you may wonder, what about this film? Maybe it's a film I forgot or I just never saw. So let's start with 15, where these are the least suckage. Another Stakeout. Another Stakeout, as I didn't drink here. I enjoy the first Stakeout with Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio Estevez. I think that's an underrated film by John Badham that still does not have a Blu-ray, probably because Touchstone released it, and that's with Disney, and they don't want to do anything with it. But the sequel has a Blu-ray. You get the sequel on Blu-ray, but not the first one. And the sequel, while it's low on the list because I can still somewhat enjoy Richard Dreyfuss and Emilio in the film. I like those actors. I like their chemistry together. It just felt a lot more lighthearted. The first film had a little bit of sense of danger. It felt a bit more with the dialogue and some of the bits of action. It felt like it was more for adults. This one, I don't remember what the rating was. I guess I should look it up. But it felt like a PG-13 film. It might have been rated R, but it didn't feel like it. It felt like it was a bit neutered. And yeah, PG-13. PG-13, and what was the first film? It was rated R, right? Now I need to double check. I'm sure it was. So that right there proves my point. Yeah, Stakeout was R-rated. The sequel was PG-13. And they probably made it PG-13 because they thought it would get a broader audience, and it didn't really do that. And they changed their looks. They took off the mustache. Like I say, they made it more lighthearted. The edge was gone. And you add Rosie O'Donnell, which was such a bad mistake. I don't understand why they thought Rosie O'Donnell was the next big thing. But I don't think she's that funny. I've never been a big fan of Rosie O'Donnell. She's like 2 shots away from Roseanne, in my opinion. And she was a terrible addition, at least to me. It was cool to see, I think Miguel Ferrer was in it as the villain. I could be wrong. But, yeah. At best, I could watch as a time waster, but then it's just reminding me of just how much better the first film is. But that has a Blu-ray and the first one doesn't. So that pisses me off more too. Number 14, Sister Act 2. I like the first Sister Act. I'm not big on Whoopi Goldberg as a person nowadays, and if you watch The View one time, you'll know why. Just, but I did like her as an actress. I really enjoyed Ghost. I love Jumpin' Jack Flash. Even films like Eddie, I could watch. Basketball movie that she was the new coach, new owner of a team. Owner it was. And, there's a few other films I didn't mind her in. And I liked the first Sister Act. The first Sister Act I saw quite a few times on VHS when I was a kid. I thought the music was catchy. I thought Whoopi worked very well, where she's on the run and she has to be hid in this convent because Harvey Keitel actually wants to kill her. I thought the other actresses who played the nuns worked well. One of them is Kathy Najimy, who was in Hocus Pocus. And it was a film that you only needed one movie. And of course, she goes through, she becomes friends with them, and they bond, they're able to let loose a bit. Formulaic, but it was entertaining. Sister Act 2 is one of those movies I've seen more than once. God forbid I remember a damn thing about it. I remember something about, was it back to school? So I guess like Catholic school or something? And helping the young teens, and of course because she's more of a nun, she a little bit less edgy, definitely less funny, and it might have done well at the box office, I don't remember, but it's one of those movies I never thought needed a sequel. I remember watching going, yeah, this didn't need a sequel. I don't think the sequel really did anything of note. It's definitely a film not many people remember. I mean, Whoopi, has a couple of decent moments, as do the other nun characters, but like I said, it just felt subpar to the first. Number 13, Boiling Point. I know people be like, what? That film I remember being very disappointed in, because you look at the cover, it's Wesley Snipes with a big ass gun pointing over here, ready to blow your brains out. And then when you watch the film, he's not really the star of the movie. It's more Dennis Hopper's movie. I would bet Dennis Hopper has more screen time in that film than Wesley. He definitely has more development of a character. And then Wesley just pops in, do blah blah blah. And the action, I don't remember the action being that memorable. Like I said, Wesley felt like he didn't have much to do. And I love Wesley Snipes. Passenger 57, Blade, Blade 2, Demolition Man, White Men Can't Jump. I even like Money Train. But Boiling Point, again, I always thought it was a disappointing film where they sell you one movie, and I don't really think it's the movie they're selling to you, at least the way I look at it. Number 12, Wayne's World 2. I know there's a lot of people that like Wayne's World 2. There's some that like Wayne's World 2 more than the first one. I'm not one of them. I like the first Wayne's World a lot. I think it's the only Saturday Night Live movie, except maybe Stuart Saves His Family, which I haven't seen that in forever. But one of the only ones that's worth a crap. Worth a shit. Wayne's World is a lot of fun. Wayne's World 2, I just remember the jokes not landing as much. I did not give a rat's ass that they wanted to make a concert. Like the story of the first film where they're a little cable access and how they're dealing with corporate and between selling out and staying true to yourself, and it just felt like it was more creative and breaking the fourth wall, and the different dream, ending sequences, like the dream sequence, it just felt more creative, it felt more unique, while Wayne's World 2, I never thought was that funny. I never thought was that good. And I'm trying to remember if, isn't that the one where, God, I'm trying to Dana Carvey gets with, was it Kim Basinger or was it, I can't remember, it was like an actress that's well known at, I mean, showed how little I gave a crap about it. People say in the comments, but, well, I'll just look up here. I got, you don't have to type it. I got it right here. I got a computer. I'll just say Wayne's World 2 cast. But yeah, I know a lot of people like the film. That's fine. I thought it just was not nearly as funny as the first. It is tasting as Honey Horny. Christopher Walken looked lost, like he didn't know why he was here. And I don't blame him. And it's weird, growing up, I always thought I was in the realm of other people that, yeah, Wayne's World 2 was known as a bad sequel, but no, a lot of people liked the film, and like I said, some liked it more than the first, and I'm sitting there going, I guess I'm the odd man out. Oh well. So number 11, I'm pausing because there's nostalgia to this film that I could kind of watch. But okay, if this was the list of the most disappointing films, this would be number 1. But worst, even with my complaints, I would rather watch this than the other films because they're my boys, the Ninja Turtles, and this is Turtles 3. It was never called Turtles in Time, but that's what people think of it now because they confuse it with the video game. But at the same time, I mean, they did go back in time, so it fits. There's a lot of nostalgia. I watched the 1999 Ninja Turtle films a lot when I was a kid. I could still watch the first 2. There are flaws, sure, but I could still have fun with them. The third one is a bad movie. Even with the nostalgia, I don't think the second film's a bad movie. It's a goofy movie. It's a silly movie, but I think Ninja Turtles 2 Suit to Use is fun and entertaining, and I quite liked it. 3... the fact that the turtles look like ass. They look like they got STD, they're from a leper colony, and they're ready to melt. Splinter looked like he was dipped in a vat of KFC, and they left him too long. Elias Koteas, for some reason, he came back for Casey Jones, but he's like, well, I'll do that, but I want to play this other boring-ass, lame-ass character that no one remembers a flying fuck about in the past. Instead of just having Casey Jones go back with them and have Splinter do all the stuff himself, because he is a ninja master. And you could play around with that where you think he's a feeble man, but he could do some shit. But no. Casey Jones is there, and there's a couple funny moments with Elias Koteas, but the way the turtles look, the way Splinter looks, and you have these opportunities and you do nothing with it. Oh, you don't have a turtle bond with a kid who could have died? Okay. But you have Mighty save him from a fire. You have Leo give him resuscitation. So who's the kid going to bond with? Mighty or Leo? Well, the answer is Raph. Why? I would love to ask the director who wrote the film these questions as, what were you thinking? And yes, they're nerdy questions, but they're questions that if you're any film, you'd be asking as well. It's like, well, you can't ask just a Ninja Turtle film. No, you're asking if it was any other film. Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, you'd be asking the same damn questions. Why did you do this thing with Mighty and Mitsu? I'm not thinking they're going to make out. I don't want to see that, but you bring it up and then nothing. Why do you even bring it up in the first place if that's the case? Corey Feldman, he always sucked as Donatello. I thought the guy, Adam Carl, who voiced him in the second film, was 10 times better. the third film, I know the second film was silly. I thought the third film felt even more silly. We respected the Addams Family, Wet Willies, all that shit. And I hate the way they look. I hate all the moles, like they're diseased. The villains, I don't think were much. Oh, they use their weapons. That's the thing. People complain about the second film. They don't use their weapons. They don't use their weapons. Well, they use their weapons in this film, and what did you get out of it? Leo blocks. Mighty, well, a lot of time he's out of action. Raph breaks an arrow in half. But what did you really get out of them using the weapons? Nothing, because they can't do stuff that they're meant to do. Bash people's brains in with a nunchuck. Stab with a sword. Block, grab, but throw it into someone's head or someone's eye or gut someone with a sai. You can't do it. Unless it's R-rated, and they would never do that. Unless this last Ronin movie happens. Which, yeah, I look for that where everybody dies. But just a lot of issues with that film, a lot of problems with that film. Are there elements I liked? Sure. The voice of Robbie Rist, and Brian Tochi as Mighty and Leo. The Turtles being, practical suits in 90s. There's a bit of that nostalgic charm. Elias Cotes when he's Casey Jones. Some of his moments are funny. I don't mind Paige Turco as April. I don't mind that actress. It was a different setting, so I didn't feel like a carbon copy of the previous films. I like the song at the end, the Tarzan Boy. Although I don't like the ZZ Top song at the beginning. I don't think that fit. But yeah, this director who wrote the film, he was the wrong choice for this. The wrong choice. I don't know what the hell he was doing. And I didn't, you're so cheap, or whatever the hell I didn't. Love to know what the reason was they didn't use Jim Henson. Was it the budget? Because I know at one point they were mad that Jim Henson's credit was on Ninja Turtles 2. But at the same time, you guys did do the film, so... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It was budget, they screwed up. So, Turtles 3 has too many problems. I had to put it on the list. Number 10, American Ninja 5. Which, I'll be honest, that's a film I have seen, and I don't remember much about it. David Bradley's in it, who's in American Ninja 4. It wasn't meant to be an American Ninja film. It's one of those movies that was a different movie, but they just put American Ninja 5 on it to sell, especially overseas. I think the kid in it plays video games, much like the kid in Surf Ninjas did. When did Surf Ninjas come out? That was 1993. I forgot that was in 93. You know what? I'm going to put both American Ninja 5 and Surf Ninjas at number 10. I'm going to do that. It's my list. So, I don't like Surf Ninjas at all. I know people like that film. I'm not. I found it annoying. I found it irritating. And I'll say Surf Ninjas is a bit better because you get to see a bit of Ernie Reyes Jr.'s physical ability. But that also has Rob Schneider, which is a bad thing. So yeah, American Ninja 5 and Surf Ninjas I don't put, because hey, they both have little kids playing Game Gear games and other BS. And goofy fight scenes. And I think they both suck ass. So I'll put them in number 10. Number 9, Weekend at Bernie's 2. I love Weekend at Bernie's 1. But, like again, you did not need a sequel. They made a sequel. And they made such a awful sequel with it's the Caribbean and Bernie is with voodoo and he's like, and the criminal thing about that, it was the way they used Andrew McCarthy and David Silverman. They worked so well together in the first film. They had such wonderful chemistry in the first film. They did absolutely jack all with them in this movie. Jack all. A portion of the beginning is them like either wondering what the hell to do. Apparently not, their life didn't much change after the first one. And then they like add a damn deposit, mess around with that, and even when they get to where the hell was the Caribbean, where they didn't really, I mean, other be on the beach and the whole thing trying to be the humor of, well, Andrew McCarthy's a virgin and all this other stuff. I'm like, okay, whatever. I just didn't find it that funny. And they kept harping on it again and again and again. They tried to get a lot of the humor of that voodoo stuff, and I didn't give a rat's ass about it. Didn't care about the location. Weekend at Bernie's is a goofy, silly movie. But Weekend at Bernie's 2 I just thought was annoying and awful. Number 8, Freet. That's a film that Alex Winter, who's Bill S. Preston Esquire, and Bill and Ted, he directed the film, he starred in the film. Him and others get turned to freaks, and they're in this show, carnival, however you want to put it. Keanu Reeves has a little role as the dog boy. I believe it's him. Could be wrong. I thought it was him, but he didn't want credit. I forget. Mr. T's in it. That's one of those films that I remember seeing pictures of as a kid and going, man, this creature effects looks interesting. Many, many years later I saw it and I went, wow, okay, this was not worth the wait. This was, a movie I just didn't find funny. It's, I don't know what you'd call its nature. It's haphazard nature, just trying to be too zany at times, just way too zany, and I didn't think the jokes worked. Alex Winter, he has that thing on it where I can't understand what the hell he's saying half the time. This is probably like this. Yeah, another film I didn't give a rat's ass about. Like I said, some of these films I don't remember a whole lot about. I apologize. Number 7, Carnosaur. That's a film that, okay, it's Roger Corman producing. They don't have any budget, and it'll be dinosaurs. So I can forgive the cheaper special effects because they're doing dinosaurs on a small budget. But you're giving you gore and blood and guts, and very rare to have that in a dinosaur movie. And weird, wacky plot about this scientist, which I think the lady is Laura Dern's mom, I believe, in real life. And of course, both came out, Jurassic Park and this movie came out the same year. But like, she wants dinosaurs to rule the earth again, so this thing where women will give birth to dinosaurs, and it's a very crazy, weird plot. I remember liking the deputy guy. I think he's the sheriff or deputy, and I hated that he got killed off. There's like a fun little battle with a T-Rex, but I wasn't 100% sold on the lead guy, which I think is the same guy who's in another movie much later in this list. And the ending was just shit. The ending, we may have the tear, blah blah blah, and then spoiler if you don't want to be spoiled. 3, 2, 1. Him and the girl die. Because the people think they're infected, and they shoot them up, and they don't give them a chance to explain, and they shoot the hell out of them, they burn everything down, including the tear, and then there's a Mad magazine, Alfred E. Newman, smiling and laughing at your face as it burns up. And then credits. I'm like, great. Alfred E. Newman is laughing at me. Fuck you. People like that? Cool. I prefer Carnosaur 2 and I prefer Carnosaur 3. I wish those films would get a Blu-ray. If the first one has to be in there, fine. I'll just throw the first one away. But, come on, let's do it. But yeah, Carnosaur, I like the sequels more. And yeah, that ending killed it. A movie that I could deal with, but an ending killed it. Carnosaur is one of them. And okay, a lot of times people ask me, what's a film you'd like to see remade? Carnosaur. And I remember that when people ask me about that. What's a film you'd like to see remade? Carnosaur. An R-rated, bloody dinosaur movie, but have more action, have that deputy guy, maybe he be the lead, the sheriff, and have a better ending. So yeah, Carnosaur. There you go. I remember that, though. Probably you hear one of the cats, they're pissed off about that movie, too. They're having a nightmare about it. Number 6, Steeder. What the hell is Steeder? It's a monster movie about giant mosquitoes. But the thing is, this is around the time where, I think after this, Mosquito came out. Because I think that was 95. Now, Mosquito is a great one. Mosquito is fun, entertaining B-movie. Mosquito has Gunnar Hansen from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and a lot more blood, and titties, and people's eyes popping out, and some practical effects, because the guy who made it worked with practical effects a lot, and yes, there's wider shots where it's I don't know if it's stop motion or whatever the case, but a lot of practical up-close shots of these giant mosquito stuff, and people with shotguns blowing them away. Much more of a satisfying action, fun romp with ton definitely inserted into cheek. Steeder was a lot more serious, was a lot more boring, and you barely saw the creatures. And I remember the cover being cool. I liked the cover of Steeder. That was the best part of the movie. It just, low budget, you barely saw the creatures on screen, lack of action, lack of gore, and just much more of a tedious sit. So Steeder I thought sucked. Number 5, I put RoboCop 3. Because it's RoboCop 3. I still do not understand. Just like I do not understand why people say Ninja Turtles 3 is better than the second film. I know even Kevin Eastman said that. I'm like, how? Explain, please. I do not understand how RoboCop 3, some people say, is better than RoboCop 2. I do not understand that. It's your opinion. You can have your opinion, teach their own. I don't agree. RoboCop 2 at least still has Peter Weller. At least it's still R-rated. At least it still has a bit of satire with all the different programs. Was reprogrammed that works today. This is a total goof on PC and being too PC. And you have this great finale with Robocan and RoboCop fighting each other, blasting through walls, going up you elevator shafts, ripping brains out and smashing them on the pavement. RoboCop 3 by Fred Decker, which it's his fault. He wrote it. He directed it. He even said in an interview that if he did the film today, he would make the whole building of OCP turn to a damn transformer and fight RoboCop. Because that's what you want in a RoboCop movie, right? It's not what I want. But I hear different things. I hear that Peter Weller would have come back as RoboCop, but either A, he was working on Naked Lunch, that film. Also, probably wanted to look a bit at the script, but Orion said, no, we need this film right here, right now. Probably because Orion Pictures was in deep shit, and they were hoping this would be a hit that would get them out of it. But instead, it got delayed for like a year or two, and then came out in 93. And I don't think the lead guy, Robert John Burt, did a good job as RoboCop. It's just hard to have anyone other than Peter Weller play that role. Because you know his voice and his mannerisms. It being PG-13 and being neutered did not help. The violence is gone, the gore is gone, the visceralness is gone. It's much more family friendly. You even have a kid joining the movie. Which, I mean, a kid could work. Aliens did that very well with Newt. But here is just much more trying to be for kids. She even has a RoboCop doll. Because they saw the RoboCop, kids liked it. But kids liked it because it was violent. It's like, oh, cool. They like what their dad liked. Or what their older brother liked. Or, oh, man, they're growing up. And, oh, what's that? Oh, kick ass. And I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a man, you know. That's what they're thinking. But that's not what the people who made it, that's not what they thought. The story where you had the bad guy who looks like an evil Steve Martin, and Rip Torn, who just, he's lost. You have cyborg ninjas with some goofy effects. You have nothing in terms of story. Really, the only benefit I would say is at least it has the score from the first film. Because the score in the second film was definitely a downgrade. The fact they get the same composer of the first and bring back the music of the first. Although I'm thinking, well, why don't I just watch the first movie if I want to listen to that score? Just saying. And then you cut off Nancy Allen, whatever the reason being, whether she wanted it or they chose it or whoever's choice it was, they thought, well, this is going to raise the stakes and make the villains much more prevalent, or it was done for shock value, or Nancy Allen said, I'll do it if you kill me off. Whatever the hell reason, I don't care what the reason was. I honestly don't care. It could be one of them, it could be all of them. It was a dumb decision because it still did not raise the stakes. It still it didn't make the villains more threatening. It didn't make the villains more memorable. I dare anyone to remember the name of the villain in Evil Steve Martin. I dare anyone to remember the name of him without looking it up. I can remember Clarence Boddicker. I can remember Kane. Do you remember Evil Steve Martin? I double dare you. Because I sure as hell can't. Lame duck fuck of a movie. I mean, the whole ending felt like it was a damn precursor to a TV show. Where you have the whole group there that's going to be, in every episode, and whatever. Number 4, Leprechaun. Leprechaun, I have not liked any of their films. There's not a single Leprechaun movie I liked. Warwick Davis I find annoying. I don't find him funny or scary or creepy or entertaining. At least not in those films. The Leprechaun I just want to kick through a field goal while it's on fire. I think the deaths are stupid. I know they're meant to be stupid, but they're more like I want to shut the TV off. Like a pogo stick of death. Leprechaun, I think, is a piece of shit. And I don't think... The closest I could watch is the 4th film, because at least it's a outer space movie with Miguel Nunes, who I like as an actor, and was goofy and stupid. So all the movies are. Yeah, this movie is interesting to see Jennifer Aniston in an early role. And that's really the only reason it's at number 4 than number 1, 2, or 3, is because I could watch Jennifer Aniston. I don't mind Aniston. She has not much to do, but it's funny to see her in this movie. Also, the one guy, I forget his name, he was in April Fool's Day, 1986 film, which I do like that film. I don't mind that actor. Who plays like I do say the boyfriend of Aniston. It's funny how you look at the trailer for Leprechaun and they try to make it like a serious horror film. Like, you watch that trailer, there's no humor in that trailer. Then when you watch the movie, it's something fairly different. So I hate all the Leprechaun films. Number 3, Night Terrors. This is again one of those films that I know I hated. I don't remember a damn thing about it other than Robert Englund was the Marty de Sade, but he also played a different character. The Marty makes it seem like he was a much more important figure, but he's in it sporadically. It's more like this boring ass girl trying to have a relationship and lame wannabe sex scenes, and it wasn't sexy, it wasn't scary. Robert Englund felt wasted in the role. Just a big, tear for insomnia. Night Terrors is. And I'm like, Toby Hooper, come on, man. May he rest in peace, but he made some bangers. I love Chainsaw Massacre 1 and 2. I love The Mangler. Poltergeist, depending on which story you want to say and who directed it. But, man, made some damn stinkers, too, and Night Terrors was one of them. Number 2, Botching Helena, which I know I reviewed. And it's Julian Sands, may he rest in peace, as a doctor who likes this girl, even though he's like, I think he's got a girlfriend or wife, one or the other. But he likes this girl, obsessed with her. One day they have a fight, she leaves, she gets hit by a car. And then the rest of the movie is him holding her up in his house, trying to be nice to her, trying to be kind to her. And she's like, what the hell are you doing, you piece of shit? And as the movie goes on, she falls in love with him, even though he keeps taking her legs and arms. And Bill Paxton is in the film for some reason as the one girl's former boyfriend. And then at the end of the film, spoiler, 3, 2, 1. It was all a dream. Like, most of the movie is a damn dream where he visualized the girl got hit by the car and instead he just called the ambulance and got her to the hospital. She's going to get better. Her legs and arms are there. He's at his home, just sad, drinking, and the movie's over, and he's sitting there going, what the hell was the point of this? What was the damn point of this boring as hell movie? I did review that. Feel free to look that up if you want to hear more detailed thoughts on it. And number 1, The Hidden 2. I was looking over the list, and I'm like, I gotta put The Hidden 2 as number 1. I like The Hidden. The Hidden is an 80s film directed by Jack Shoulder, who did Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. He did Alone in the Dark in 1982 with Jack Palance and Donald Pleasance and Martin Landau. Good movie. The Hidden had a nice blend of action and horror. This alien that loved to go from one body to the other and would use that body for fun and drive fast cars and listen to rock music and dip money and steal and shoot people who's in its way. And there's 2 cops on its tail. One of them is Kyle MacLachlan, and you find out later he's an alien as well. These slug-like things like to possess people. Well, at least the bad guy is. The good alien's like a beam of light, however you want to put it. But yeah, you got good action and car chases and shootouts and flamethrower fun and some fun makeup special effects. The Hidden, I do not understand why it does not have a better release. Obviously, it's who owns it, but the fact that no company, whether it be Arrow Video, whether it be Scream Factory, whether it be Vinegar Syndrome, They should have put out a better release of The Hidden. Instead, it had some Warner Archive, and that's who it was, Warner Brothers. Warner Archive that has maybe some features from the old DVD, like an old commentary, but that deserves a lot more. This Warner Archive is just like a more glorified bootleg. But yeah, The Hidden 2 shits on it. It said, you know what? At the end of the first movie, spoilers, the one cop is dying, so Tom McLaughlin takes his place because, hey, it's a bit weird when you think about it, because now he's in the guy's body, which is this one girl's father and this one lady's husband. I'm like, so now you're going to be screwing this other guy's wife and raising this other guy's daughter. And you get a hint like maybe the daughter kind of knows something's up, but the wife doesn't. So I don't know if the one guy in the spirit world's like, you're fucking my wife. But I get where they're going with, but when you think about it for a minute, it's like, that's a bit weird. But it doesn't matter, because in the second film, apparently that good alien is in the body, and now it's played by a different actor. But they're trying to make it look like the actor from the first film. Not Kyle MacLachlan, but the other guy, and I forget the other guy's name. But it's not him, but they try to make it look like him. And like the film starts with like 10-15 minutes of showing the first film. And then it's like, well, that character from the first film, now he's fallen apart and then dies, is killed. Then another alien from the universe comes down who's a cop, and they're going to hunt this one alien down. And I think it's supposed to be the same evil alien, because then it shows, oh yeah, at the end of the first film, that alien didn't die, it went into like a dog or something. Try to remember. Which I'm like, no, we saw what the hell happened. Maybe I'm remembering it all wrong, and I blocked it out of my mind. If so, I apologize, but I'll just go with it. It showed the first movie, then it had some stupid thing where they added in to make it a sequel, and it was not in the first movie. And then you take the character from the first, you kill them off in a stupid, ho-hum, lame fashion. Then you have this boring, which I swear is the same actor. I think it's Raphael Sbarge, who was in Carnosaur, who has no gravitas, he has no personality. Terrible lead. And then Kate Hodge, who I liked her in Rapid Fire with Brendan Lee, liked her in Chainsaw Massacre 3. She's given a whole lot to do, and then they're going to find this alien with not nearly as much action, not nearly as much effects, not nearly as much excitement. I think it was a much shorter film, and it was only done to just have a name to put on their video shelves, and hey, The Hidden did well on VHS, so check out The Hidden 2. There's a reason why there's no Hidden 3. Horrible fucking movie. And again, the fact that it shits on the first one is why I put it up there. Because RoboCop 3 is bad. And in a way, I just say, well, it did screw with the fucking... killing off Nancy Allen, to be fair. But, I don't know, like, The Hidden... like, making the ending completely pointless. And I want to make sure I get that right. Did I? Because it's been forever since I've seen that movie. So let me make sure I got this right. Okay, the alien criminal is dead, but he left a few eggs which are hatching now. So I don't know why I thought of the dog. I don't know why. How he left a few eggs, I don't know. A good alien has been inhabiting Tom Beck's body. His presence in the body is taking a terrible toll on it, draining of its life energy. I love how it says both will need to work together. No, he dies. And Tehaj plays the daughter, the little girl you see in the first Hidden. So it's been this many years later, and now the eggs are... I don't even remember why it took that long for the eggs to hatch. And see, no wonder I didn't remember a goddamn thing about this fucking film, man. So I don't know what... Yeah. So I guess the doll thing I just completely made up. Maybe I was just zoning out. I was making up my own damn movie. The Hidden 2 just fucking sucks, man. Cheap Jack BS. Hate it. But it makes the first film pointless. Like, okay, they killed the bad guy, but then, oh, he's got a bunch of eggs, and then they're going to kill more people, and he transferred from one body to the other, but he just, deteriorates and dies. Anyway, I don't know. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. To go through the list one quick time. 15, another Stakeout. 14, Sister Act 2. 13, Boiling Point. 12, Wayne's World 2. 11, Ninja Turtles 3. 10, American Ninja 5 along with Surf Ninjas. 9, Weekend at Bernie's 2. 8, Freet. 7, Carnosaur. 6, Theater. 5, RoboCop 3. 4, Leprechaun. 3, Night Terrors. 2, Boxing Helena. And 1, The Hidden 2. With that said, thanks for watching. Take care. These movies can all kiss my ass. Later.